Hey, are you looking to get started in UI design? Well, look no further. In this video, I'm going to discuss what UI design is, what you could expect to be doing working as a UI designer, as well as how to set up your first interface in Adobe XD. I'm Elise, an Adobe XD Enterprise instructor, and I've been doing UX UI design since 2015. My whole goal now is to make design education fun and exciting for people who are trying to get into this industry. This video is part of Career Foundry's free UI short course. If you're interested in following along with this video series, sign up in the link in the description below. Make sure to keep reading the tutorial page for this topic. You'll find a lot of information as well as tips. All right, so you're gonna have some questions and comments as we go through this naturally. Feel free to just leave those in the comments below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible. All right, now let's dive in. All right, so think about your favorite app, Facebook, TikTok, Tinder, no one's judging, okay? And think about when you first downloaded it, how it was probably pretty easy for you to navigate, right? It didn't take hours to figure it out. Well, a UI designer uses stylistic elements like spacing and colors and patterns to guide the user through the product in a really natural way. UI design refers to the visual design of a digital product's interface. It's the process of creating interfaces, and it's typically apps or websites with a focus on a few things. Number one, the look and feel, so colors, typography. Number two, design elements like buttons and form fields and dropdowns. Number three, interaction design, so animations and prototyping. And then of course you wanna think about creating a cohesive brand across all these design elements. Yeah, I know, it could be a lot to think about at first, but we'll take it one step at a time. So what's the difference between UI and UX design? These are often used interchangeably. And they shouldn't be. They're not the same thing. So what is the difference? Well, UX designers focus on improving the usability as well as accessibility of a product, while UI designers are thinking about how to make the look and feel of a product enjoyable to the user. UX designers draw a map out of the product, while UI designers flesh it out with visual and interactive touch points. UX and UI designers often work in tandem to maximize responsiveness, efficiency, and accessibility of a product. All right, so what are those skill sets that every UI designer needs to know? Number one is to learn one of the industry standard tools. So we are gonna be learning Adobe XD throughout this series. There are also other tools that you can look into, Figma, as well as Sketch. But honestly, when you learn one, it's really easy to transition and learn the others. Number two, become well-versed in fundamental methods, theories, and practices of UI design. So color theory, design layouts and patterns. Also, strong collaboration is so necessary. You might be talking to a stakeholder, understanding their design vision, or maybe you are sharing your designs with a developer and they have to understand the interactivity very clearly in order to implement it. So this video is part one of a 5-part series for this free UI short course. The link to the short course materials and downloadables are available in the description below. For the remainder of this video, we are going to set up your first artboard in Adobe XD, and we'll also just kind of get more comfortable and understand some of the functionality of Adobe XD. Then you'll decide which app screen you want to design, and potentially if you have some time, do some extracurricular reading on some of these topics that we talked about today. In video number 2, you'll learn about UI elements and you'll make your first wireframe for your app design. Don't worry if you don't know what that means yet. We're gonna cover that. In video number 3, you'll learn about components and shapes. You'll be creating your first button as well as the logo for your app. In video number 4, it's all about text and typography. You'll choose the font and copy for your app's tagline. And finally, in the 5th video, you're gonna bring your app to life with colors and imagery. You'll also learn how to export and share your work. So the first thing that you're gonna wanna do is download Adobe XD, and you can do that just on their site by downloading it right here, and it's available for macOS as well as Windows users. So once you've downloaded Adobe XD, you can go ahead and start a new project. You're gonna see a screen like this with some options up here, and we are gonna select the iPhone 12 Pro here. So I'm gonna select that. And it's gonna open up my first design file. It's already gonna set the artboard into my design file here. So here is my first artboard, and where it's placed is just in this huge gray area. This is called your pasteboard, and this is where all of your artboards are gonna live. Now, when we're designing, we don't just have random rectangles and circles all around in this big gray area. We want to make sure all of those design elements that are all contained into this space that has the right dimensions already for us. So the first thing that I'll show you here is the toolbar over here on the left-hand side. And the first option is select. This is already enabled. This allows me to select a layer, move it about, etc. And when I hover over it, you're gonna see that it says select and it also says V. That is the shortcut as well. So you can just type V in your keyboard as well. The next option under that is rectangle. Again, the shortcut for that is R. So I can select rectangle, and now I can create a rectangle onto my artboard here. Underneath that is ellipse. So that's, circles. Underneath that is polygon. And then there's line. Then there's the pen tool, which we're not gonna really spend too much time with that guy. And then we have the text tool. And then artboard. So if I select artboard here, on the right-hand side, I can select and create more artboards. And I could have, a tablet if I wanted, select that guy, or I can go over here and do desktop, right? So you can have multiple artboards in your design file. I'm gonna go back to select tool, and I'm gonna just delete these artboards. And the next one I'm going to share with you is the property inspector. So if I select a particular layer, like this rectangle, over here on the right-hand side is my property inspector, which allows me to make adjustments to that particular layer. So when I select a particular layer, you're going to see the property inspector change depending on what I've selected. So this is a contextual menu that changes depending on the layer I'm in. So here I have a rectangle and I can change out the colors, right? I can change out the border or the width. There's everything that I want to do with the rectangle I can do here. So let's say I have some text. If I select this text, again, my property inspector is going to change depending on this selection. So I can actually change out the text and so forth. I'm just gonna delete all of this so we can start fresh. Now what we're gonna do to set up for tomorrow's tutorial is we want to change this title for the artboard. In order to do that, I'm just gonna select and double click in order to change. So this can be app screen 1, okay? And then the other thing that I'm gonna wanna do is title my whole design file. So where it says untitled, May 18th, wherever that is for you, you can select that and it says save as, and this could be my first app screen. Whatever you want it, the title to be. And then you can save that. So now our design file is ready to go for tomorrow's tutorial. So hopefully this video has given you a better understanding of roles, tasks, and responsibilities of a UI designer. You've also set up your first artboard in Adobe XD and you're ready to get started on your first interface project. This was lesson 1 in Career Foundry's free UI short course. Sign up via the link below and work alongside us. In the next video, I'm going to be introducing wireframing and key UI elements. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe if you want more great UI UX design content. If you have any questions on user interface design, Adobe XD, or anything we've covered, please feel free to leave it in the comments below and we'll answer ASAP. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you in the next video.